Imagine you're a doctor. Your wife works in healthcare. You drive sensible 11-year-old cars and meticulously track your monthly budget. Yet every night, you tuck your 3 children into a single cramped bedroom inside a tiny 2-bed flat. Working in the UK healthcare system means enduring grueling hours. And as this junior doctor's protest sign shows, 10 years of medical experience might only earn you about £28 an hour. Securing a medical degree doesn't instantly shield you from financial reality. In 2017, the husband's father pressured him into co-signing a massive mortgage for his sister, a dentist, so she could buy a 5-bedroom house. This decision, made before he even met his wife, effectively locked his financial future into a debt he didn't create. The arrangement was entirely one-sided. His pristine credit score and high earning potential were harvested by the bank to inflate his sister's borrowing power. He makes no payments, but he carries 100% of the liability on the multi-million-pound loan, with absolutely zero equity in the property. His entire financial future was mortgaged to fund a luxury lifestyle for his sibling, turning his own family into collateral damage. While 3 children share a single bedroom in that flat, the sister lives in an expanding mansion with her husband, who has been unemployed for nearly a decade and contributes nothing to the mortgage. Instead of paying down the loan to release her brother, she doubled down on her lifestyle. She executed multiple massive renovations, pouring hundreds of thousands of pounds into the property to expand it to 7 bedrooms and 5 bathrooms. This diagram maps exactly how the family's wealth is distributed. Capital from their father and the bank is funneled straight into the sister's expanding house, completely bypassing the doctor's tiny flat. She racked up credit card debt and financed 2 brand-new electric vehicles, bloating her liabilities to the point where the bank refused to let her hold the mortgage alone. Because her spending eroded her own borrowing power, the husband remains pinned underneath her lifestyle as a structural pillar of co-signer liability. Every time he attempts to apply for a mortgage for his own family, the bank sees a massive debt anchored to his name. The family siphoned the husband's credit to keep the sister afloat, treating his stability as a disposable resource to subsidize the golden child. By August of 2025, the tension snapped. The husband and wife sought down with a mortgage advisor who confirmed they could easily afford a home of their own if they could just sever the tie to the sister's loan. They drew a hard line, demanding he be removed from the deed. The immediate problem was math. Thanks to staggering credit card bills, luxury car loans, and a suspiciously low declared income, the sister's individual borrowing power was virtually non-existent. She needed 18 times her approved amount just to keep her house. Instead of taking financial accountability, the family retaliated. During a sit-down to resolve the issue, the sister and mother launched a coordinated, vicious verbal assault on the wife. They attacked her career, her parenting, and her character, while the husband struggled to fend off the barrage. The emotional abuse was so intense that the wife was left reeling. She stumbled out of the house and vomited in the street, experiencing a severe physiological panic response to the ambush. When a toxic family is asked to surrender a massive financial advantage, they often deploy coordinated emotional hostility as a smokescreen to confuse and exhaust their hostage. You would expect a husband to immediately cut ties with the people who tormented his wife. Instead, the situation devolved into friendly fire. Unable or unwilling to force his family into submission, he turned his frustration inward on his own spouse. The fallout bled into their son's 5th birthday. When the wife firmly refused to invite her abusers to their home for cake, the husband finally snapped. He threatened to withhold all funding for the party, or even cancel his son's birthday entirely, unless his toxic family was on the guest list. This diagram illustrates the ripple effect of family pressure. Instead of pushing back against the source, the husband channels his frustration toward the safest target, his wife. When she sets a firm boundary, he is finally forced to face the toxicity head-on. Surviving an entrenched family dynamic requires recognizing a hard truth. A partner who is terrified of conflict can temporarily become just as detrimental to your well-being as the primary abusers. The extraction finally came in March of 2026. Facing the absolute deadline of their mortgage renewal, the father bailed out the golden child one last time, taking on personal loans from abroad to wipe out the sister's massive shopping debts. There was no phone call or family gathering. The husband simply received a sterile email from his sister's solicitor containing the transfer documents. The house was shifted into her name and the name of her unemployed husband. In the paperwork, the doctor, who had carried their financial weight for nearly a decade, was coldly addressed as Mr. There was zero gratitude. The vague, years-long promises that the family would reward his sacrifice by providing a hefty down payment for his own home evaporated the moment his signature was no longer required. The actual damage was in the opportunity cost. For 9 years, his borrowing power was locked away. While he waited for permission to start his own life, UK property values skyrocketed, completely outpacing his family's ability to save for a deposit. He wasn't released out of mutual respect or familial love. He was simply discarded the exact second his credit score exhausted its utility. Today, the doctor and his wife are starting from scratch in a punishing housing market, but their ledger is finally clean. They are entirely severed from the family's financial debts. The phrase, "blood is thicker than water," is often weaponized by entitled relatives to justify draining your bank account and holding your future hostage. Achieving true financial independence requires snapping the chains of forced family obligation, recognizing you owe nothing to relatives who view you as an asset. Walking away with zero financial help might seem like a loss, but securing total peace of mind and the freedom to build on your own terms is the highest return on investment you will ever get.